him.
I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Smack-a-macabre, it's time for the only news that matters. And Fleming Rasmussen, record producer best known for his work on Metallica's classic 1980s albums, shared his opinions on the controversial 2003 album Saint Anger and addresses some of the critics of Lars Ulrich's drumming. To many people, the Saint Anger record felt like one of the worst things that happened to metal music back when it came out. However, as years gone by, Metallica accepted all the jokes around it, and the fans have even embraced it to some extent. Not this fan. Now, in another chapter in their history, and a sign that they're willing to experiment and try new things. Rasmussen, who produced Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, and Injustice for All, reflected on Saint Anger, telling David Sarkisyan, man, all these weird names, man, in a recent interview that he kind of has a love-hate relationship with Saint Anger. Said, every second time I hear it, I go, fuck, that's so great. They dare to do something new, not just doing what they've always done. And then the times in between, I go, it sounds like the worst demo I ever heard. So it's kind of like that. Sometimes I take it off after the first 10 seconds. And other times I listen to it to the end, because it's pretty demanding to listen to it. The snare sound is fucking annoying as hell, right? But speaking of the album, one simply can't avoid the issue of that snare drum sound that was the butt of every joke amongst metalheads back in the day. When asked how he felt about the snare the first time he heard Saint Anger, the producer was very honest about it. He said, I hated it. It's probably one of those loud things that, you know, if you want it to be loud, that's what you do. But it was like, nah, didn't like it. From 1991's extremely successful self-titled Black Album, all the way to Saint Anger, Metallica worked with producer Bob Rock on all studio releases. The 2003 album also included songwriting input and bass parts by Bob Rock. However, it ended up being his final album with the band. While discussing the snare issues during the interview, Fleming was also asked about some people's negative views on Lars Ulrich's drumming skill. While saying that he may not be the greatest in the world, the producer explained his significance for Metallica, saying people can hate as much as they like. It's become like a national sport for some. Yeah, he was not the world's best drummer, but for Metallica, he is. And he evolved. He's gotten better and better. Shit happens. From here to there, there was a huge development, musically and technically. He's really, really good. So there you go. This dude hates Saint Anger. I hate it, but whatever, man. I haven't really liked Metallica since really Master of Puppets back then. So whatever they were releasing, Black Album, loads, and what have you, I just didn't care. It didn't affect me whatsoever. I was letting everybody else do it because it's so trendy to hate on Metallica. I shit you not. Their last album, which I'm not a big fan of, but I just got to say, one guy wrote online, I actually saw this. And this is the attitude of so many people. One guy wrote, I don't care what it sounds like. It's Metallica. It sucks. And that's the attitude so many people have on Metallica. They don't care. Metallica got a new song coming up. I hate it. Now press play. Let's hear why I hate it. You know, people. But hey, man, that's them. You know, and I never felt that way. But I gotta be honest with you. I feel that way about Def Leppard. Yeah, man. God damn, it's been 40 years already. You know, and nothing but crap. So it's gotten to the point where, like they released a song not too long ago. And my co-host Ian told me, hey, did you hear that new Def Leppard song? I was like, no. I know it's going to suck. I mean, those guys are not capable of writing songs I like since 1983. But later on, I saw it as a suggestion. I go, okay, let me hear it. And sure enough, man, I didn't even make the whole song. I was like, you know, but whatever, man. People dig it. Well, not many, but some dig it, and more power to them. But I'm not this guy that's like so fixated with Metallica, you know? I leave all that for Sammy Hagar. That's where I'm fixated on. Sammy Hagar is the person I'll bash constantly, not Metallica, because the whole world bashes on Metallica. It's a trendy thing to do. But at the same time, they are the biggest metal band today, and I know that pisses a lot of people off. Don't piss me off. I like many metal bands more than Metallica. But hey, they headline stadiums. They're doing better than any band. And, you know, they also set trends. Look what happened after the Black Album. All these thrash bands started, trying to chase that Black Album. You know, we had Testament with The Ritual, Megadeth, Countdown to Extinction, softening their sound. I think Slayer was the only one that didn't do that. But they did go nu metal on that one crappy album. But I went many years of not liking Metallica. Black Album, loads. You know, when I heard Saint Anger, you know, it wasn't like, oh my God, what's this snare sound? It was just like, this is just a crap. I don't think it's any better than the albums that were before. And then Death Pathetic came out. I hated that as well. And then Hardwired came out, and I absolutely loved it. I was like, oh my God, Metallica. Now I finally like a Metallica album after all these decades. And the last album, I had high hopes for it, thinking it was going to be, another Hardwired, because I heard the song Lux Eterna. And I was like, damn, this shit's good. I can't wait for this album. And then, I was very disappointed. I even went to the theater. You know, the theater on the day of its release, you can hear the whole album at the theater with videos. And it wasn't that good. I was like, this ain't no Hardwired. But, a lot of people out there hate Hardwired. And some legitimately hate it. And some just hate it because it's Metallica. It's like, I know one guy that he said to me, hey, because he's known as the scab kiss hater. And I was going around saying, hey, man, I love Monster, and I'm a scab kiss hater, too. And he told me, you know what? He told me this privately on the phone. He goes, dude, I like Monster, too, but I can't let people know that, That's poser shit. I'm sorry. You're a poser if you don't want, That's why I say any guy out there that says, I love Poison, that's not a poser to me. A poser to me is a guy that likes Poison and won't admit it. So, I liked Saint Anger. I still like Saint Anger. I played that like 2 months ago. God damn, what a great album. A lot of people don't agree, and that's fine. But I prefer it over Injustice for All. Now, I will say there's no song on on Hardwired as good as Blackened, because I think that song, Blackened, Metallica's never topped that song. But they came damn close on Hardwired. I love that title track, Atlas Rise. Spit Out the Bone, Halo on Fire. I mean, that's an awesome album. A lot of people don't agree, but hey, that's fine, man. I love it. But I have seen a lot of comments of people loving on Saint Anger now. And that's cool, man. I mean, I did a Saint Anger track by track like a year or so ago. Somebody donated. And I heard it and I was horrified. I didn't like it. But, you know, it's whatever, man. You know, people... And also, I love Lars' drumming. I think it's very inventive. It's not technically great, but it's very inventive. And I dig what he's thought up, like on For Whom the Bell Tolls, Disposable Heroes. I love the way he thinks as drumming goes. Can't be technically the greatest, but he's awesome at what he does, and this guy is right. He may not be the greatest drummer, but he is the greatest drummer for Metallica, if you ask me. I mean, you know, have you seen the shirt where it's Lars Ulrich and Cliff Burton, and it said, it should have been Lars? That is a very misinformed jackass that made that shirt. Because number one, Cliff Burton was the most, you know, guy into more hard rock, Blue Oyster Cult. He loved R.E.M. He loved Leonard Skinner. You know, he had a very eclectic taste in music. While back then, Lars, James, and Kurt only liked metal and some punk rock stuff. You know? So if anybody would have wanted to change the sound of Metallica first, it would have been Cliff way back then. You know? And if it was Lars that died in that bus crash, that same shirt would have been made, but it would have said, it should have been Cliff. What do you all think? Leave it in the comments below of everything I just said. I really would appreciate that. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And ring that little notification bell. And like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty. Listen to Black Sabbath and smack 'em a gob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.